Hey everybody, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer and welcome to a new playthrough video. Today I'm playing Arkham Horror the card game. This is the third scenario, final scenario, in the Night of the Zealot, which was the introductory campaign that came with the basic game. I'm playing Daisy Walker and Mark Harrigan, the librarian and the soldier. They will begin here at the main path. Just a few things. I spent my XP that they earned in the last scenario. I got them each charisma, and charisma allows them to have 2 allies. I got Mark an Elder Sign Amulet, which I'll have to hopefully pull in a card draw and buy. It gives him extra mental or extra sanity. I got Daisy a Bulletproof Vest, which is going to give her extra physical protection. Oh, I just forgot. I put that in there and didn't tell you. So the scenario calls for me to drop a new token in here, which is this one right here. So it's going in the bag. Let's see. Let me read the setup to you. It says, after a frantic nighttime search through Arkham. If you'll remember the last episode, I went searching for cultists. You have tracked down and questioned several members of the cult. Your findings are disturbing. They claim to worship a being known as Umordith. I don't know how to pronounce it. A monstrous entity from another realm. That is a weird one. All right. You were able to confirm much of Lita's story. The cult is agitated over the destruction of a ghoul lair. However, a surprising detail also turns up. The one who invaded the lair and set this night's events in motion was none other than Lita Chandler herself. You are not sure why this important detail was omitted from Lita's story. Did she tell you only as much as was necessary to draw you into her conflict? But in another light, she seems to be fighting to protect the city of Arkham from a terrible menace. The final piece of the puzzle was found written in a journal possessed by one of the cultists. It describes a dark ritual to be performed deep within the woods south of Arkham this very night. According to the journal, the ritual's completion will open a gate and bring forth the cult's dark master into this world. If this cult is not stopped, Lita warns, there is a possibility that Umordith's vengeance will consume all in its path. Frightened but determined to stop the ritual, you head into the woods. All right, I have created the encounter deck. I'll go ahead and shuffle it for you again. But I've shuffled it all up. There's a lot of bad cards in here. This is a dangerous one. I pulled out main path, which is where they start. That should have been face down. And there were 6 Arkham Woods. I shuffled those and drew out 4 at random and put the other 2 away. So these are not revealed yet. Mark and Daisy begin here. So I'll flip this over. It says, check the number of names recorded under cultists who got away. In my case, it was 2. And it says, if there are exactly 1 or 2 names, place a doom on the agenda. So it automatically starts with a doom token. Also, if it is past midnight, each player discards 2 random cards. It was not. I stopped before midnight. If the ghoul priest is still alive, he is not. I killed him in the first scenario, so I don't have to worry about that. All right, let's get going. So the first thing I need to do is shuffle Daisy's and Mark's deck and draw their hand of 5. Each one of them starts with 5 resources. So I'll go ahead and put those on their things here. 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now Daisy, unfortunately, back in scenario 1, she took a mental trauma, which you can heal that during a scenario. It basically means you start with 1 less sanity. Her normal sanity is 9, so she's starting 1 lower with 8. Now I can heal it back up to 9 during the game, but that mental trauma is permanent. So in future scenarios, if this is the last scenario in this campaign, but if there were more scenarios, she would begin with that deficit during each new scenario. So mental and physical trauma is never good. I mean, it's one of the penalties for losing a scenario, among other things. There are other penalties. One of the things I love about this game is no matter how many scenarios there are, you can always keep going, even if you lose a scenario. And in some cases, some of these scenarios are designed to be lost, in my opinion. They're very difficult, very unlikely to win, but it's all part of the story. So let's get going. I do need to shuffle Mark's deck. Now, Mark begins with his normal 5 sanity and 9 health. he has received no mental or physical trauma. But he does have this sort of drawback called Sophie, which is his dead sister. I guess she's like a spirit that haunts him or something. He can get bonuses during draws of the token by taking damage. But when he takes too much damage, the card gets flipped, and then he loses. He has to subtract 2 from every time he does a encounter. All right, and like I said, charisma allows them to each have 2 allies instead of just the one. All right, so Daisy draws 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get a mulligan, and if you draw a weakness, I got Lita. I drew her weakness. So let's see. I want that one. I want that one. I want that one. I don't want that one. I'll shuffle that back in along with the weakness, and I'll draw her. You draw 2 more. I got a weakness again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't remember. I think weaknesses do not belong in the first draw, so you can mulligan it, and then you shuffle it again, and you're ready to go. All right. So her deck is done, and then Mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what he gets. Unexpected. Okay, not bad. Not bad. I will take those. No, there was an ally in there, a couple allies actually, and some good cards. All right, let's get going. Now, Daisy and Mark find themselves on the main path. It says the main path is connected to each other woods location, so I can travel easily to any one of these. As a choice, I can resign. There's nothing we can do to stop them. You flee the woods, leaving Arkham to its grisly fate. You don't want to do that, not in the final scenario. All right, it starts with no clues and a shroud of 2. And let me read the agenda and the act to you. Now, the agenda is the bad thing. It takes 4 doom to advance this. It's already got 1 on it. From interrogating members of the conspiracy within Arkham, you have learned that they are performing a rite of vengeance in response to the destruction of one of their master's lairs. You have entered the woods outside Arkham to try and stop them. The woods seem unnaturally cold and filled with a deathly silence. Okay. And then the act, which is what I want to forward, and it's 3 per investigator. So it's going to take 6 clues to forward this. The evidence you've gathered has led you to the woods south of Arkham, where you believe a ritual to summon a being called Umberdoth is about to take place. Stealing your resolve, you set forth deeper into the woods, hoping to find the site of the ritual. All right, so let's go ahead and go first. I'm going to have Mark. Go first. I don't know if I should split up or stay together. It's been a long time since I've played this scenario. I don't remember it, so I'm going to stay together. So Mark, on his first action, and I track those on my board here with these little counters. Mark will spend an action to move here. So we flip it over, and it's Arkham Woods, Cliffside. It has 2 clues and a shroud of 2. This location is investigated using agility instead of the skill indicator. Oh, man. Okay. So Mark's agility is 3, and it's a shroud of 2. Her agility is 2, so not all that great. Mark can take, well, he's got Beat Cop, which has an agility, but I like Beat Cop, and I like Guard Dog. Which one to get rid of? Do a damage to it, deal damage to an enemy at your location. You get +1 fight when he's out. Dog, okay, you know what? I'm going to get, he's cost 4. I'm going to get out his ally, Beat Cop, for a cost of 4. That's his second action. And the Beat Cop says you get +1 fight, and as a fast action, I can exhaust him to immediately deal 1 damage to him and 1 damage to an enemy at my location. So Mark's third and final action, let's go ahead and see if we can investigate and get a clue. I'll do Unexpected Courage, which is 2 wild. So I add that to 3, which is 5 versus 2. Really, the only thing I don't want is the auto fail. And I got the auto fail. All right, never mind. That was bummer. All right, so Mark is done. I'll flip his card over. Well, let's see. Does she have any agility cards that could help her? Not really. No. So, but you know what? I have this preposterous sketches. If there's a clue, and there are 2 clues here. Let's put them there. There are 2 clues. It says if there's a clue there, you can draw 3 cards. So maybe she can draw another card that will give her. So she will move for 1 action. Her second action, she's going to play Preposterous Sketches. If there's a clue at your location, draw 3 cards. So she gets to draw 3. 1, 2, 3. She draw her weakness. Add it to your threat level. After you take 1 or more damage, you take a horror. It takes 2 actions to get rid of this. All right, well, shoot. So that was her second action. For her third action, I'm going to have her play... Exhaust 3 the mind for each point. So you draw... Lita Chantler would be a good one to get out at this point. She costs nothing to get out, and she's a great ally. But also Research Librarian lets me immediately get a tome in my hand, which would be a good one. I'm going to get him out. Research Librarian for my third and final action. I get to search my deck for a tome and add it to my hand. So let me find a good tome. You get +2. That's a good one. The Grandma Marksman's Secret, you get +2. I'll hold on to that one. And then I have to shuffle my deck, right? Yeah. So I'm going to pull out all the tomes that I can find. Don't want that one. Come on. I know I've got a few. Are they all at the bottom of my deck? There's only... Do I only have 1 tome? I must have one in my hand. I don't. That's weird. I could have... I must have... Well, I'm gonna pull in the Grim Memoir for her third and final action, and we add it to her hand, and we shuffle her deck, and that is the end of the first turn, which is really not good because I have ended the first turn, and I have no clues. So not really good. Now, the woods are interesting. I can access all of the woods from the main path, but I can't. I always have to return to the main path in order to move to another one. So I'm always going to have to spend 2 actions to move back and then back. So that's a lot of wasted time. I should have split them up. I didn't think about it, but I think that's what I'll do next. The problem with splitting them up is Daisy's not so good at fighting and Mark's not so good at investigating. So let's just see let's see how we're going to play this out. All right, Daisy's done. It is the end of the turn. It is now the enemy phase. There are no enemy, or I'm sorry, it's the upkeep phase. So I flip them over. They each get a resource and draw a card. And Daisy paid 2 to get the librarian out. Sorry. And they draw a card. So Daisy draws Fingerprint Kit, adds it to her hand. And Mark draws Flashlight and adds it to his hand. All right. Enemy phase, no enemies. Doom phase, add a Doom token. There are now 2 out of 4 to flip that. All right, who went first? Mark went first, so he will flip this. He gets Offer of Power. Peril, meaning only he can address this card. She can't help. You must either draw 2 cards and place 2 Doom on the current agenda, or take 2 Horror. Wow. Well, 2 Doom is gonna flip that immediately, but 2 Horror. Wow, that one's bad. Draw 2 cards and place 2 Doom on the current, or take 2 Horror. Draw 2 cards. So I would get 2 cards in my hand, but it would flip that. I'm going to take the 2 Horror. I don't really have a choice here. I cannot... I'll have to hope for a way to heal that Horror back up. So I'm down to 3. Daisy draws a Ghoul Minion at her. She is now engaged. Okay. That is the end of the... That's the end of the Doom phase. It is now the Investigator phase. All right, Daisy has a creature in front of her with 2 health. I will go ahead and exhaust Beat Cop and take a damage on him. He can take 3 damage, and I'll put 1 damage on Ghoul Minion. Daisy's fight is 2. His fight is 2. I don't like those odds. Is there anything Daisy can do to help it? Well, I guess I'm going with Mark's turn first. Mark's going to go first. This is a fast action to exhaust it. So Mark can fight this thing, even though it's engaged with her. He can... Well, it's 2, and his fight is 5. I'm just going to hit it. For his first action, I'm going to attack it. So 5 versus 2. And the skull, by the way, is -X is the number of monster enemies. This is a monster, so it's -1, so he still passes and he kills it. It goes into the discard pile. That was his first action. Second action, he will play... I don't really want to waste the flashlight because, well, I have to get the shroud down so they can do it. I will play flashlight. I put 3 resources on it. That's his second action. And then for his third and final, I will spend 1, which lowers the shroud by 2, so it's down to 0. He will investigate with his agility, which is 3, so it's 3 versus 0. And I got the Elder Sign. Elder Sign says +1 for each damage on him. He has no damage, but it's still, I get a clue. That was awesome. All right, and Mark is done. Daisy will... You get +2 for this. If you see by 2 or more, you can draw a card, but she's using her agility right now. Fast play, discover a clue. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go ahead and play this one and pay 2. It's called Fast. I can play it right now. Play only during your turn, discover 1 clue. So she's got a clue for free. It was a fast action. Where's her discard? Her discard's right up here. Okay. That was really good. So that leaves her with 2 turns. She's got 3. And she could get her tome out to do a special... So this is a tome. It says you may take an additional action which can only be used on tome abilities. So I'm going to hold on to this one right now. I'm going to get out Lita for her second action. This is not good. I am really behind the ball here. For her second action, she'll do Lita, get her card out, and then for her third action, she'll move to the main path, and she is done. All right, everybody's done. No enemies. Flip them over. They each get a resource and a card. Mark draws Overpower, which gives him +2 fight, or 2 fight. Daisy draws Barricade. Okay. In Daisy's hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She can only have up to 8 cards in her hand, so or 10. I think 10. She has a card that allow her to go up to 10, I believe. All right, that is it. It is the Doom phase. We place a Doom token. There are 3 out of 4 now. Mark went first, so he draws Ghoul Minion at his position. Daisy draws a Yithian Observer. Prey, the fewest card in hand, which means Mark. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. So it will want to move towards him forced. When Yithian attacks you, discard 1 card at random from your hand. If you can't, the Yithian Observer deals +1 damage and +1 horror. And it's worth victory 1 point, which really doesn't matter because this is the last of the campaign, so the points don't really matter. All right, so spawns there. I believe it automatically engages. I'm pretty sure it says prey, but I believe when it arrives, it will engage with, if there's an ally there or a investigator, it will attach. So I'm going to attach it to Daisy. All right, that is the end of the Doom phase. It is now my turn. 1 attack, move 2. Okay, so Mark needs to beat this. It is a 5-2, and I will go ahead and I was supposed to ready this when I readied everything. So the Beat Cop will take another point of damage to do a point of damage on the Ghoul Minion, and then I will attack at 5 versus 2. This is the Tombstone, which is -3. If there is a monster at your location, take a damage. All right, so 5 minus 3 is 2. I still managed to kill him. I do take a point of damage, and that's okay. That was his first action. His second action is he will move here, and his third action is he will attack the Yithian Observer. So I'll pay 2 to get 1-2 punch. So when I do a fight, I get +1 for the attack. If you succeed, you may fight it again at +2 and do 1 +1 damage. So he's got 4 health, so the most I can do is 3 damage. Ooh, that's not good. Is there anything I can do to add damage to it? No. All right. All right, so we'll play that. My first attack is +1, so it's 6 versus 4. Ooh, I don't like those odds. Do I have anything to help with that? I'll do Overpower, which adds 2. So it's 8 versus 4. Really, it's the auto fail that's going to hurt me if I draw it. 8 versus 4. 8 minus 1 is 7, so I put a point of damage on it. And it says, if you succeed, fight it again. You get +2 fight and deal +1 damage. So I'll do 2 damage this turn. And I am now at +2, so I'm at 7 versus 4. And I have nothing to add damage to that. 7 versus 4. Seven minus 1 is 6, so 2 more damage on it. It is definitely not looking good for it, but Daisy's not the greatest fighter. Mark is done. Daisy has got a monster on her, so she's going to have to do something here. And unfortunately, her fight is terrible. But Lita Chandler... Oh, you know what? Hold on. Lita, when an investigator at your location successfully attacks a monster, it deals +1 damage. Boom. I knew there was a reason I got Lita out. So the Ithian is dead. Nice. And that one does not go back in the deck because it's a victory. So we will keep it. All right. So Daisy has a full 3. So let's move her to this one. We'll just go left to right. Or right to left. She goes here for 1 action. All right. It has 2 clues. The location is investigating using fight instead of the skill indicated. Great. All right. Does she have any cards that can help her? The Grimoire would, but she uses fight instead. None of these are going to help her. Oh, come on. So Mark's going to end up being the one there. So I tell you what, I know that Mark can fight that. So for her let's see, she moved. For her second action, she'll move back. And for her third action, I'm going to send her to this one. And I'm probably going to regret this. It's got 2 clues on it. And it says, forced. After you enter, test 4 sanity, 4 mental. If you fail, take a damage and a horror. Uh-oh. All right, so her willpower is 3, and she needs to beat 4. Willpower. I could do Barricade to make it 4 versus 4, which I'm going to do. She needs all the help she can get. 4 versus... That's all she's got. 4 versus 4. Lita does not give her any help. So 4 versus 4, and this will end up being her last one. 4 plus 1 is 5. She does it. She gets a clue. So she's got 2, 3. We've got 3 out of the 6 clues I need. So she moved. She investigated. All right, so she is done. That's it. Her turn is over. There are no enemies on the board, so we refresh these guys. They each get 1 resource. Mark's got 2. She's got 4. They draw a card. Mark draws. Emergency cash. Daisy draws. Connect the dots. Play after you discover the last clue. Discover 2 clues at a location with a lower printed shroud die. Ooh, that's a really good one. Fast play after you... Okay, so if she discovers that clue, she can immediately discover 2 at a lower revealed location with a value lower. So a 2. 4 versus 2. So yeah, that is a great card. All right. It is Doom time, which is bad. Doom. And this flips. It says, throughout the woods, a shrieking cry echoes. From somewhere deep in the forest, a score of hideous voices answers the call. Umerdoth, Umerdoth, Umerdoth. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck and discard cards from the top until a monster is discarded. Spawn that enemy on the main path and then place 1 Doom on that enemy. Okay, so that's bad. So these Doom go away. These Doom go away. We reveal this one. Says the ritual begins. Umerdoth, Umerdoth, Umerdoth. The chanting builds in intensity, echoing into the cold air of the night. The sparse clouds in the sky coalesce above the Arkham woods. Each enemy will get +1 fight and +1 evade. Ooh. And it starts by me taking this, shuffling it again, and drawing until I get a monster, and that monster will begin on the main path with Mark. Okay. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm terrible at shuffling. 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. And then I have to keep drawing until I get. Hang on just a second. I dropped my cards. Okay. He should have emergency guard dog. Yeah. All right. So I keep drawing until I get a monster. Nope. 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 Monster. Ghoul minion. All right. So it appears here, and it has 1 doom. Now that doom adds to this, but when I kill it, that doom will go away. So this probably isn't too bad. That forwarded this, and now I got to draw cards. So Mark went first, so he draws Rotting Remains. Test 3 willpower. For each point you fail, take a horror. This could not have come at a better worse time. Will. All I've got is guard dog, and I really don't want to get rid of the guard dog. All right, test 3 will. His willpower is 3, so I'm doing a 3 versus 3. I can get no help from Daisy. 3 versus 3. And I got the 3 minus 3 is 0. If there's a monster enemy at your location, take a damage. So he does take a damage, but worse, he takes 3 horror, and because it says for each point you fail, take a horror. He goes insane. Wow, that was bad. And I wouldn't, even contributing the guard dog wouldn't have helped. So Mark is out of the game just like that. Can Daisy save the world? We will see. All right, it's up to Daisy. I'm going to play this out. So the ghoul minion is still here with 1. All right. Daisy still has to draw her card. Dissonant voices. Put it into play in your threat area. You cannot play assets or events. At the end of the round, discard it. Okay, so I'll put that here to remind myself I can get rid of it. And it is now Daisy's turn. So Daisy is going to try to investigate here to get this 1 clue, which will get her these 2. So I'm going to play, where was it? It was called Connect the Dots. And it costs 4, and I do have 4. So let's first make sure that we can get that clue. She investigates with 5. 5 versus 4. I'm going to add gain 2 resources after you draw crypto wording. Okay, I'm going to play this to get bonus 2. That knocks her up to 7 versus 4. 7. All right, so she gets this clue, which now... Oh, by the way, Mark's clues... I don't know. Do I lose Mark's clues? Here he has 1. I think I keep it. I think that the clues go together. I'll keep it because it'll keep the story going. Then I'm going to play Connecting the Dots for 4, so her 4 resources go away. And it says, after you discover a clue at your location, get 2 at a 1 with a lower shroud. So I get these 2. Now I have 6, and I can forward this. It says... Scattered throughout the forest, you've seen glyphs and arcane sigils in various places, etched into the bark of the trees, carved upon faces of stone, and dripping in blood on the ground. Though you cannot decipher them, you notice that most of them tend to face south. Following these signs leads you to twists and turns towards a cave in the darkest and coldest part. As you advance, shadowy figures emerge, blocking the only path in the cave. Put the set-aside ritual site into play if it is not already in play. All right, so ritual play was one of the set-asides. That's right here. All right, so put that up there, and I don't think I reveal it. Put it into play. Search the collection for each enemy recorded in your campaign log who got away, and spawn those enemies. Okay, so I did write down the ones that got away. They were Ruth Turner and Herman Collins. So let me grab those real quick. All right, they were back here somewhere. I remember let's see, where are they? Sorry, I've got to find them. I tell you what, I am out of time, so I'll have to pick this up in the next video. This is Jim the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me on this game of Arkham Horror, the card game. I'll be back very soon with the next part in this scenario. Until then, everybody, take care.
Check out the new RPG and Wargame newsletter. Each week, the Tabletop Engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.